Uh, During a discussion, this slide I am presenting over here, some of the slides is being borrowed from the internet actually. So that I have declared in the slide itself that few of the slides are being prepared by collecting information from the various sources, particularly from the internet. So all these slides are not being made all by me. Some of I have borrowed from the internet itself. Those are being compiled and I am presenting over here. See, I will try to share the slides. The only thing is that some of the part it is being shared in the internet. So I will suggest that few of the points you may write down also. The notes as a note, you keep a note at the side. So whatever I am discussing, some of the points you may write over here, because slide may not be enough for you to write in the examination. So some of the key points that you are discussing in the class that you may write in your note, right? And during my class, I may give some of the assignments, right? Those assignments will do, and then we'll discuss on the assignment itself, right? The subject that we are going to read is the operating system. It's actually a very interesting subject. It's a very interesting subject. It is very much related to um, uh, our programming, our work that we are doing on the computer. It's a fundamental requirement. It's treated as a core subject in computer science. You go for any of the universities, you will find this subject over there. From any of the top universities also, you will find this subject, because this is a fundamental requirement for a computer science student. We are offering here as a 3 credit course. The prerequisite is that you should have some computer programming language, and if data structure is there, that will be fine, right? Although the teaching scheme is written over here, the regular classroom lectures with ICT, but actually this is for this pandemic only. We will go for the online mode, and whatever possible will be doing for the same. The assessment is same as of the previous semesters you have given, which is of 5 marks, surprise test 5, assignment 5, midterm 25, and end term 60, which accumulate to 100. And I'll tell you that what assignment or when the surprise test, when the assignment has to be given or what assignment to be given during my course. The textbook that we are going to follow is the Silversus Gagne operating system concepts. This is the 8th edition I have written. If you get some other edition also, that doesn't matter. But this Galvin book is the fundamental or the basic book that you have to. And the second one is the Milankovic by Milankovic book, which is again is a product. It is a book from Data McGraw-Hill. So you will find, if you will find most of our means almost 90% of our course will be found in the first book itself. Although it is being written the 8th edition, if you get some other edition also, that's fine. Besides that, maybe the soft copy of this may be available in the internet. Slides are also available in the internet. The slides that I am using over here, some of the slides I have borrowed from there itself, and few slides have included of my own. And do remember, during the class, any point of time, if you have any doubt, you just raise your hand and put your query. Any point of time, you may interrupt, because it is a very interesting subject. You have to interact, then only we'll have better understanding of the same. Correct? So these are the 2 textbooks, and the reference book. The first one, we can go for a Tannenbaum, Modern Operating System by Tannenbaum, is a PHI publication, and PB Prasad, Operating System and System Programming, is a SciTech publication. It's a Indian author, but that also is a good book. These 2 are given as a reference book. Besides that, if you want to go for some additional books, you may go for Dhamdhare, or Ashok Dhamdhare is a good it's a standard book also on the operating system. It's along with that, um, some of the online resources that are also available. Various online resources are available. If you go for NPTEL course, you will find the NPTEL course offered by from different IITs, IISc. So some of these are being listed over here. So you can go through those videos if you at any time if you need, you can go through those as the additional other resources, online resources. What is the objective of our course? Objective means what? Why you go for reading of this course? The objective of the course is to understand the fundamental concepts and techniques and algorithms and internal working principle of computer operating system to become a software designer or an efficient application developer. See what it says. Somebody will think that I am being after completing my BTech, I am going to be a programmer. Let me be. Why should I learn about why the operating system, what operating system does? We read operating system because we want to write efficient programs. We must know that how my program, my resource utilization is done in the operating system itself. I must know that how the memory is being allocated for my variable. So I must know that how file being stored. So who takes care of this? People might be there, some of you might be there who are being interested in writing the codes for the system itself. They want to design the compiler, they want to go for designing of the operating system itself. So fundamentally, we must know that how this software, the operating system is a software, right? How it is being different from other softwares. What is the specialty in this software and what are the functions of those? So the working principle, we must know that concepts, techniques and algorithms, internal working principle of a computer operating system. Why? To become a system designer or efficient application developer. Even if you want to go for application developer, you must know about the operating system, background of the operating system itself. What is the outcome of course outcome? At the end of the course, the student will be able to explore principle behind various types of operating system, system components, system calls, protection mechanism, and services. These are the course outcome. Do you remember course outcome and the objective are different? This is objective means this is the thing that we have kept in our mind that this is has to be done. Now outcome is that after completion of the course, suppose you will have end when the course will end, and when the end of the course, the student will explore what is the principle or principle behind the various types of operating. How many types of operating systems are there? Why they are being categorized? What the components, system calls, all those. They must explain different schedulers, scheduling policies, design of new scheduling algorithms, real life problems. Describe the significance of process synchronization. Process synchronization means when more than one processes are executing in a system. We will be discussing all those. I am just putting it over here. There are 5 outcomes we have listed. I have listed over here. These are the course outcomes, or we say in short, we say the COs, course outcomes. Each of the course outcome is mapped with one module. That means first one is for the module 1, the second one is for module 2, the third one is for module 3, module 4, module 5. So from this we can see that what are the things that we are going to cover. We are going to cover the starting from the basics of operating system, services, system calls and all those, to how the schedulers work, how the process synchronization, memory management, and the other disk scheduling, file handling and all those, right? This is somehow is being related to the computer organization and architecture paper that you have read. This will be somehow related. It's not mandatory that you must have the knowledge of computer organization or architecture, but however, this being somehow related to them. And believe me, it will have a very fascinating, it's a very interesting thing. Those things you will be love to learn. This is the syllabus that we are going to cover. The module 1, we have introduction. Here we'll have an introduction to the operating system, like the evolution of operating system, different types of operating systems, what are the functions of operating systems, what the operating system does, in the types of operating systems starting from batch processing to different other kinds of operating systems. Then we have system calls, what are the operating system services and system components. So with so these are the things that we are going to cover in the module 1. See, I have mute everyone. If anybody having any doubt, you have to raise your hand for putting the query. Otherwise, it will be it will disturb the other people. Okay. The second unit 2 is dedicated for the process management and CPU scheduling. The process management means how the process is, what is process, how process is created in a process, what are which things are being associated with that, how processes interact with each other. We'll read about the thread mechanism, the threads, and the application of threads you might have read in your Java programming, but you will read the concept of thread over here. What do you mean by thread actually? The multi-threading and all this we will read over here. Then we have the CPU scheduling, different types of CPU scheduling algorithms. And for module 3, this is a very important topic, is the process synchronization and deadlock. Process synchronization is when more than one processes are executing in a system. How the synchronization is required, and what are the tools that are being used for synchronization of the processes. We do have also a chapter called the deadlock. Deadlock is that sometimes the processes will fall in such a situation that none of the process can able to continue. So that kind of system, the scenario will come. We'll see that what is that deadlock, when it occurs, how to detect, how to overcome, all these things will do. See, this paper, particularly the operating system, will be very much helpful for the people, so those who are preparing for the GATE exams. This is also very much required for the people, those who want to go for the industry as well, because this is the fundamental requirement. Even if you go for the interviews, they will ask any of these fundamental questions from this operating system itself. And for GATE examiners, I will say that many of the questions, maybe more than 10 marks questions, are from the operating system itself. The fourth module is for the memory management. We have we'll read over here the different concepts like linking, dynamic linking, loading. You have contiguous memory allocation, logical physical address, and the virtual memory concept. Virtual memory, only thing is that from this module 4, the virtual memory part, you might have read in your in a computer organization architecture paper. This part only you might have read, but we'll be reading in detail over here again. The last module is secondary storage structure. Here we have we'll particularly read about the file structure, directory structure, and the disk schedulings. In a disk, how the head moves actually. So there are different algorithms that are being used. Besides that, some IO mechanism like polling, interrupt, and DMA. DMA concept we have read also in architecture. As I said, it is this paper, this subject is somehow being related to the our computer organization subject actually. As our syllabus says, maybe very few topics I will give you for self-reading. Maybe I will try for the, because if I found that some of the topics you can read of your own, at that time I will give. For example, in the module 5, there is a case study of Linux system. case study of Linux system means whatever we have read, memory management, secondary storage, we must have read all those concepts, how these concepts are being implemented in Linux. So those things are being discussed. So few of the, very few, maybe those will be given for you as a self-study, maybe. Okay, we'll be starting with our first module now. We'll be starting with our module 1. That is, we'll introduce what is an operating system is. See, if we talk about the system consists of two things, hardware and software. Some people say hardware, software, then you have liveware, courseware, and other things are there. Liveware means the person who is using, the operator who is using the computer. Courseware is the materials, online materials or books that you study for getting the knowledge. But basic two components is the hardware and software. So knowledge about the hardware is different part. Now if you talk about the software, this software, you know that there are two different kinds of softwares, system software and application softwares. The operating system is a system software. What is the system software? The software which is required for a system to operate. So there are some programs which needs by the system to operate are called the system softwares. And operating system is an example of system software. That means operating system must be it is required by the computer for its operation. Now question is that why it is required? Operating system, sometimes known as the platform. Platform means in a railway station, if platform will not be there, how do the trains will move? So that platform is the operating system itself. Suppose think of, you do not have Windows. How do you work with the paintbrush or calculator or some other operating some MS Office? How will you work if the Windows will not be there? Similarly, if Linux will not be there, how do you do the things which are being related to the Linux? So in your computer, you must have an operating system installed. Even if you go for laptops, spam tops, the tablets that you are using, those are also having the operating systems. Therefore, in my first slide, I have put not only that Windows as the operating system. You can see over here the iOS, Android, and various other Apple and other operating systems. Example I have given over there. So those are also operating systems. All those operating systems has some fundamental work to do, basic work to do. So these operating systems may differ in two companies how they made, but they must do some of the things. Those we are going to read. What are the main functions of this operating system? So a program that acts as an interface between a user of a computer and the computer hardware and controls the execution of all kinds of programs. So what it does, the operating system is just like a waiter in a restaurant. When you go to a restaurant, what you do? You sit in a place, you see the menu, you give the order. Who takes the order? The waiter takes the order. Once he takes the order, you don't have to bother. You are sitting over there, you do not have to bother. You are just saying that these things I want. He goes, make the food, prepare whatever is being prepared. He takes care of everything. He just serve on your table. So be a user, you do not know that how these things are being prepared, right? So similarly, it's like a bridge which takes input from the user, and it is responsible that how these works will be get done by the hardware. Who will do the work? The processor will do the work. The memory, it will be stored in the memory. It will go to the IO devices. Many things has to be done, but the entire control of these is being governed by the operating system. So therefore, it acts as an interface between a user of a computer and the computer hardware. So you have two levels. Actual work is done by the computer hardware. User is giving the instruction over there, and it controls the execution of all these. How your user instruction will be getting executed by the computer hardware, right? An operating system is a software which performs all the basic tasks like file management, memory management, process management, handling input and output, and controlling peripheral devices such as disk drive and printers. Just look over here, whatever I have been cited, anything left over here, it does process management or related to the processors and all this. Handling the input output, so all input output are being covered. File management means how the files are being stored. If it is there in memory, the memory management. All peripheral device management, disk drives, printers, that means almost all, it's not almost all devices. So everything that you do on the computer must be known to the operating system itself. It should go through the operating system itself, right? So it is a system software which performs all these basic tasks. Why it is there? You will say that why it is there. Otherwise, what will happen if operating system would not be there? Then user has to write directly instruct to the hardware to do this, and which is very difficult. That is the reason we write a program like taking some variables, loops, and all those. We compile the program. When you compile the program, actually we are using a compiler which is interacting with the operating system. Operating system interacts with the hardware itself to get the work done. What is the operating system? What are the operating system goals? What do you need to have a operating system should do? See over here. Operating system goal is execute user program and make solving user problems easier. So one of the work of operating system is to execute the user program and make solving user problems easier. What are the user problems easier? That means I want this kind of amount of memory. 2 or 3 processes are running, programs are running. They want different amount of memory. They might be requiring different number of devices. How they must be allocated so that all the programs can run in parallel, or all can run in parallel. It will make the computer system convenient to use. What it should do so that it will be easier for it's convenient to use for the computer system will be convenient to use. Use the computer hardware in an efficient manner because we have limited number of resources. We do not have unlimited resources. We have only limited number of resources. Being with that limited number of resources, how efficiently we can manage it? How efficiently we could able to manage it, right? Some of the examples of operating system like Windows, Linux, OS X, BMS, OS 400, AIX, ZOS, you know that other Android operating system, iOS operating system, those operating systems also you know. Correct? So this is about what are the basic functions of operating system that I say. What are the goals of operating system that I say? The operating system acts as an interface. As I said earlier, it is an interface. Whatever we now question is that what is the need of an interface? Why do we need an interface? If I give an example, suppose if I say there is a wall clock is there on your wall. There is a wall clock. Wall clock is working over there. Let I take out the second hand. Will the clock work or not? The clock will work, right? I just take out the second hand. Clock is working. I will take out the minute hand, and subsequently I will also take out the hour hand. Will the clock work or not? The clock will work. But what is the problem? The problem is that you may not get the time, but the clock is working. The machine is working, but you may not get the time. So the interface plays an important role over here. Although those hands May not be you are thinking that it's not required because the machine is working, but the hand itself gives you the time, right? The hour hand, minute hand, or second hand. So interface sometimes plays a very important role, a vital role. Operating system works as an interface like that. So whatever we get, like suppose previously you must have some of you might be knowing that some operating system like DOS operating system was there. A command line interface was there. Those are called the command line interface or CLI. The commands that you give in Linux prompt are the command line interface. What is that in command line interface? You give a command and you will get the output. You give next command, you will get. So that means to get a output, I have to remember a command and type it in that form. But in GUI, in a graphics user interface like in Windows, what do we have? It will be in form of icons. I may not need to remember the commands to open a file or to close a file. Whatever I see, I double click over there, I open because it is being visible. I just open it, right? I don't need to remember those things. So now there are two interfaces. One is command line interface, another is graphic user interface, GUI, graphic user interface. So interface, the operating system acts as an interface over here. Another kind, the operating system also acts as a bridge. The bridge means it connects what? It connects the hardware with the software, the instruction, what the application software that the application that the user is running. So user is running an application. Those things to be executed or done by the hardware, it is being given to the operating system. The middleware is the operating system over here. So those instruction is taken by the operating system, get executed by the hardware and returned to them. So it acts as a bridge between the user and the computer hardware. User and computer hardware. It acts like a guardian because it says that which work to be done at what time. It's like a guardian. Because there might be multiple processors running at the same time, multiple programs running at the same time. It must say that which program will get which hardware at the which time. So it acts like a guardian. It acts like an accountant. Why it says accountant? Accountant, what it does? It keeps track of the money, how much money is being debited, credited, how much is left, whether it can be given or not. Similarly, operating system also acts as an accountant. It counts that whether my memory is, if I want to open a program, whether the memory is available or not. It checks that whether if a process is requiring 2 hard disks and something, whether the hardware is available or not. If some files are being kept, how much size they have taken. So how much memory has taken, how much free, whether it is available or not, all those being governed by the operating system itself. Therefore, operating system acts as an accountant. The operating system works as a server. Server means it provides services. A server here, I am not saying that network server. We are saying operating system provides services, various kinds of services. We will be discussing in the subsequent classes. It provides various kinds of services. Almost all services that you use are being provided by the operating system. So it acts as a server. It acts as a coordinator or manager because it coordinates all the activities. It coordinates the memory, it coordinates the IO devices, it manages all those things. So it acts like a manager, right? And this operating system itself is responsible for resource allocator and maximizer. What are the resources? In your computer, what are the resources? Hard disk is a resource, memory is a resource, keyboard is a resource, mouse is a resource, printer is a resource, BOS that you are using are resources, registers that you are using, those are resources. So any of these components that you are using as a hardware are resources. Now, it's not that one program is running on your system. You have lot of programs are running in the system itself. You are working with MS Office, you are working with you are listening a song, at the same time something is you are getting printed. So 4 or 5 programs are running at the same time. How does resources will be allocated to these processes? And it's not only allocation, what is the order in which the resources must be allocated so that it could be maximized, it could be optimized. The resource allocation should be optimized. However, the operating system does all these things. However, the fundamental task of operating system is to execute user program by providing appropriate environment. That you just have to remember. The basic function of operating system, in short, if I say, the basic function of operating system is to execute the user program. I want to execute a program, operating system takes it. Now it is the task of operating system. We have given the operating system, my work is over. Operating system will take it, and that is responsible now how it will be executed. So it will provide appropriate environment for the same. Okay, so there is a query from Vanishri that the maximizer term. Okay, see that I said that there are some resources, limited resources in our computer. What are the resources? Hard disks, memory, bus, registers, IO devices. These are the resources. Let I want to execute. There are 4 programs or processes are running at the same time. Processes, I am saying it in the short, you can now you understand 4 programs. One thing is that I am copying from hard disk to copying from my pen drive to hard disk. Second one, I want to execute a program, a C program, for example. Try to understand. First one, I want to copy from pen drive to my hard disk. So what is required over here? Pen drive is required, hard disk is required, and memory is also required. Second one, I want to execute a C program. So what is required? The file, the disk in the file is required. So hard disk is also required. It will be opened in the memory. So memory is also required. Third one, let I want to take a printout. To print out, it will go to memory, and from memory to printer. So memory is required and printer is required. Just think of like this. We have 3-4 program things are doing, and all of these might be requiring the same thing. Maybe many of these might be using the memory or hard disks. Now question is that what is the order they will be given? So all they are not using all the time. There are some seconds or some few microseconds in which they are not using. While it is reading from memory and writing in the disk, reading from the memory, hard disk is not used. At the same time, the disk may be used by some other, process. So in the interval, how these disks or how these resources can be allocated to the processes. So that is the way it maximizes. We'll be discussing more, but this is the maximization term means. There is one query to explain the guardian and accountant. Guardian, I said, guardian is what the guardian in a house does. It gives everybody, all other family members has to obey her. Similarly, whatever the instruction given by the operating system, that has to be obeyed. Whatever the operating system that is being carried out in our system. So all controls are given from the operating system. It keeps track of the money transactions. Here I am not saying the money transactions. Here I am saying that here I am not saying the accountant as the money transactions. Rather, I will say all the transactions that are being done. How much memory is there? Whether how much memory is free? A file is being created, how much bytes it has taken? Which memory locations are free? So these information, this accounting information it keeps, not in terms of money. I am talking in terms of what? How much memory, how much resources are available. If a file is created, how much memory it has taken, how much memory is free, so that whether the new file can be created or not. Correct? Is it understood? Okay. Um, we'll go for the next slide. Okay. Now, the components of the computer system. See, the class is up to 10:45, so we'll end by 10:40 around, because the next teacher will take the class at 10:45 maybe. So we have to close at 40 around. So at that time only I will take the attendance. See here, the components of computer system. It says that if you broadly classify it, you will have four components over here. In a computer system, I am not saying the operating system. In a computer system, there are basically four components. What are the components? These are the users. These are some programs. The programs may be system program, application program, whatever it may be. Then it is operating system and computer hardware. Try to understand this figure better, sir. It's important. In this computer system, which of the component actually does all the work? Is the computer hardware. So you may work with a compiler, you may work with database system, or you work with MS Office, whatever it may be. Everything has to be done by the computer hardware. Hardware means what? The processor, memory, these things, those are doing the work. They are not doing the work of their own. The user has to give the instruction. So where is user? User is over here. The user is over at the top level. So user gives a instruction. And work has to be carried out by the computer hardware. Correct? The instruction is given by the user, and the work has to be carried out by the computer hardware. What are the requirement of users? User give a instruction in form of what? In form of programs. Like you write a program and you want to try to execute. That means you are using a compiler. Suppose you have written a C program and then try to execute. That means what you are using? A compiler, C compiler. Another user is there who might be using a assembler. Another user might be using a text editor. Somebody using MS Office. Somebody using database systems. So different users may have a requirement of running the program, maybe a system program or maybe an application program. These programs has to be executed where? This has to be executed by the computer hardware. So between this system and application programs and computer hardware, the middleware is the operating system. Here the operating system stands. So our program is given, our system or application programs, which is given by the user, is given to the operating system, and operating system will get the work done by the computer hardware. Once the work is completed, again the operating system will return the result, will show the result, will give the result to these programs. Correct? So among this is not only the computer hardware, the operating system also plays a important role. Right? What are these components? What are there in these components? For example, in the computer hardware, what do we have? See over here. The computer hardware provides basic computing resources. Computing resources for computation, whatever the resources are required is the computing resources. What do you require for executing a program? You require CPU, you require memory, you require IO devices, you require a bus, you require registers. Those are your hardwares. Correct? So you require some hardwares in a computer system. So hardware is one component. Second component was what? The operating system. Operating system controls and coordinates use of these hardware among various applications and users. So this controls the use of hardware among various applications. There are various applications which might be using this hardware. There are various users which might be using different application which they might be using the hardware. Correct? So different users using different applications using various hardwares or requiring various hardwares, overlapping of hardwares even, operating system is responsible for controls and coordinating all those. And what is the third component? The third component is the application programs. Application programs. It defines the way in which the system resources are used. It defines the ways in which the system resources are used to solve the computing problems of the user. Which are the application programs? You might be knowing that all those office programs, Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Flux Pro, the accounting software, all those are big compilers, web browsers, database systems, the video games, all those are application programs. The games that you are using is application program, right? And they might be requiring many resources. And these resources has to be provided. Who will provide? The operating system will provide. So third component is the application programs. And who runs these programs? Who runs these programs? Either the people will run this program, or there is a machine which runs the other machines as well. That can be there. The machine can run execute a program. You can write a program to run another program itself. So people or the machines might be using, or the other computers might be invoking all this. So in a client server environment, one system may be invoking a program which resides in some other computer. Correct? So these are the four different four components of the operating system. What operating systems do? What the operating system must do? It depends on the point of view. If somebody is requiring some resource requirement, somebody is having requirement of management, somebody accounting. It depends on what kind of thing that user needs. User want convenience, ease of use, or good performance. People or the user do not care about the resource utilization. I just write a program, I want to make my program to be run. I do not care for the how it is being resource will be utilized. But shared computers such as mainframe or many computers must keep all users happy. It wants, because there are many users are there connected to the system. So users of dedicated systems such as workstations have dedicated resources but frequently use shared resources from servers. So we have systems like servers and workstations. People work with the workstations, but many times they might be requiring the service from the servers. Handheld computers like mobile phones and all this, or palm tops and all this, are resource poor. That means few resources are there. They must be optimized for usability and battery life, because there is a limited battery, and how optimized this has to be, the resources has to be used. Some computers have little or no user interface, such as embedded computers in devices and automobiles. Right? I think it's time. I cannot continue. I just want to take some, if you have any, let me first take the attendance, then I will go for some of the queries if you have. Roll number 1, 2 is absent, roll number 2, absent. So I'll just see over here who is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 22, 25, 27, 30, 37, 39, 51, 73. I just repeated again those roll numbers. Those roll numbers are being absent, I find. Roll number 2, 22, 25, 27, 30, 37, 39, 51 and 73. Okay. If anybody having any doubt, you may ask me. If you have any query, you ask me now.